How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Digital Health Podcast. I am one of the hosts, Anthony Virgo, here, and we have an amazing conversation that we're going to start off. Before I get started, for people who are brand new to the Digital Health Podcast, my name is Anthony Virgo. I spent the last 7 years at a health tech company based in Brooklyn, New York, where I led network and community partnerships with providers, credentialing with big name health systems. And now I am on my journey with doing AI automations for health clinics, dental clinics, and a bunch of other small businesses as well. Again, my name is Anthony Virgo. Welcome to the Digital Health Podcast. I'm going to pass it over to my co-host, Kazar, to introduce himself as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Kazar Shahid and I am the co-host of Digital Health Podcast. Been doing this and started this podcast with Anthony Virgo, my partner in A Plus Active Services. So let me tell you a bit about me, if you are not aware of me. So I've been working in the restaurant industry. In fact, I was working in the restaurant industry, providing the AI services, AI receptionist services, along with the marketing services to the restaurant industry in the states. But then I expanded into the dental industry. And have been working in the dental industry for quite a while. But then I have started along with Anthony Virgo, my co-host as well as my partner in the business. So now we have expanded to the whole healthcare sector in the states and Canada and Australia, in UK. So yeah, it's a brief intro about me. Now I'm gonna pass it to Andreina.
Hi. Well, thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Hazar, for hosting me today. My name is Andreina Sucre. Um, I'm also known on social media as the Path RDH. My background is in dentistry. I'm originally a dentist from Venezuela, and I did my residency in oral pathology and oral surgery. So when we moved to the States, me and my family, I felt kind of disconnected with the profession until I found out that in Florida, I was able, by taking like the board exams, I was able to become a dental hygienist. And for me, a few years ago, that was like, okay, that seems like my way to go and to reconnect with my profession. So, anyways, I got my dental hygiene license in 2001, I want to say. And since that moment, I felt like, at least for me, I had more to give to the dental hygiene community and even to the dental community here in the States. So I was super blessed of making since day one a really nice network around me. Um, and one of these amazing people that I knew, her name is Amber Lobatos. She focuses more on like the Latin American community here in the States, on everything like dental related, like the approach that I have, how we should communicate, and all the discrepancies that Latin immigrants might have in here. So we click, and she was like, okay, if you want to talk about something, you should talk about what you know, which is like oral pathology. And I was like, yeah, you're right about that. I haven't thought about that. So that's how I became the Path RDH. So I have been like, make people feel unafraid on their approach to oral pathology, because unfortunately oral pathology is one of those things that gives you the icks when you see during dental school.
Yeah.
So for me, my approach is very simple. I like to dive deep into my topics, but I like to skim what people are learning. So I try to give them like good examples and explain really good. And on the other hand, while I am focusing on critical thinking, because at the end of the road, that's like my word of the year, critical
Right.
thinking, and it applies for me and my kids and my husband. Anyways, so besides critical thinking, it's like how you can connect that critical thinking with empathy. And now the new part of this puzzle is AI. So
Mm,
how we can like merge all of these puzzle pieces together to, at the end of the day, become a better professional.
definitely. Amazing, amazing. So I'm gonna dive right in because I do have a few questions. But I guess I want to first ask, in in your world or realm of oral pathology, who would you say, whether you're doing content online, because I see that you do some content online and give out helpful information, who would you say the content is for? Is it more so for people in the dental field, or is it anyone could kind of dissect your information to get education about this? What is the ideal behind a lot of your education, I'll say?
So that's a super good question, and it mostly depends on the social media platform where I am
Okay.
posting my content.
Okay.
Instagram and LinkedIn is more like focus on dental hygienists, dental hygiene students, and
Okay.
dentists, and maybe international dentists, okay, like such as myself from Latin American countries, or like
Right.
Spanish speaking dental international dentists.
Right.
On TikTok, it's completely different
Right.
because on TikTok, the exposure is like even bigger,
Right.
and I get a lot of comments
Mm,
from like regular people
right.
that may had like a question about something, and they, I don't know, look on their search bars like what is
Right.
candidiasis,
Right.
boop, one of my videos maybe pop up.
Right.
So
Okay.
important to note that I do not give any medical advice.
Right.
My content is not for diagnose or to make a diagnosis, but
Right.
maybe for those people who are not in the dental field, they can use that to expand their knowledge and
Right.
maybe have like an extra tool.
Right.
So when they are in front of their dentist or the dental provider, they could say, what do you think about this information that I saw? Because
Definitely.
the way I see social media is that now all of these channels work as searching engines.
Right.
So
Right.
the way we used to use Google is the way that we nowadays use TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. I also
Right.
try to post in YouTube like shorts so people can have more information about anything. But that's mostly how I see it. If you ask me, so here comes AI for me
Right.
because it's different the way I pick a topic. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say an easy one,
Right.
candidiasis. The
Okay.
way I am able to talk about that pathology is going to be different for a dental professional than for a patient. So
Right.
again, here comes AI.
Right.
March. I call my chat GPT March as
Okay.
March Simpson.
Right. That's
so,
funny.
so I am like March. How can I, without like infantilize this information, explain this in easy to digest terms to other people so they
Mm,
can relate and maybe understand what I'm trying to say in here. So
right.
that's the way I use like AI. That's
AI.
one of the many cases on how I use
Right.
AI. It helps me
Right.
to really simplify and to make the information more like, oh, that's why, more relatable. So,
Right, right. Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's the best use case for like a scenario like AI in your, in your industry and in your profession. I even say I call my chat GPT Quinn, so I have a name for my chat GPT as well. And it's always good for like brainstorming. I guess my follow-up question to that is when you are doing like content and you have to humanize it a little bit, whether you're talking to providers or
yes.
patients, if somebody does reach out to you, how do you kind of level set or still give them the same value without providing the professional advice, right? Because you know how you don't want to give out professional advice on social media as if you're a
Hmm.
professional. You always want to keep that line, but I guess how do you still provide value with still if someone was to come to you with a question, how would you address the question? Still giving them value, but letting them know, hey, I'm not your provider, but this is what I think you should just start looking at. Is it more so you giving honest advice on a scenario? Or are they sending you pictures? What are some of the scenarios that happen for you?
That's a very like thin line, right? So I usually start by saying like, this is not a diagnostic tool. This is not,
Right.
I am not your provider. I am not
Right.
seeing you in real life. So relying on what you're telling me, number one, you should go to your office, to your dentist, to your dental provider. That's like number one thing you should do.
Right.
Number two, here are some facts. So take them with you and maybe you can send them some links of some studies, like real studies, like not like a Google Reddit thingy. No. So like put med studies. Um, you can show this to your provider and keep me posted and wish you the best. That's pretty much it.
Got it.
Andreina,
And
here I have a question for you. Like, are you managing all of this stuff remotely, or are you managing this stuff on site, running your own practice? Like, how are you managing this all of the stuff? Like, the patients reach out to you, they question you, you provide them the answers, your services. Like, are you remotely managing all of this stuff, or have you made any platform? How's the work is going on?
I am my own person, so I wear many hats. So, if in terms of who manages my social media, it's me. Who creates my content is me.
So,
So, who
so,
does
so it means you are the finance director, you are the HR, you are the AI guy of
that is
your
correct. That is correct.
one man army. So it means, in
Exactly.
short, you are the one man army.
So, in order to focus more on social media and to enhance my channel, because I mean, you gotta be honest. Nowadays, if you do not have exposure on social media, you
yeah.
I mean, no one can know that you are there. And this is a funny thing. I was having this kind of reflection this week,
Right.
and I was talking to my husband about, because I am very shy in terms of how I show myself in social media. So this has been like an internal job that I have been doing on myself.
Right.
And part of that is that I have this belief that if you talk a lot, if you show up a lot, maybe you it's like an ego thing that you're showing your ego, and maybe it's also linked to your self-esteem. Let me try to make this clear. So the way I was trained, like health related professions, at least in my country, we are like formed that we are into this type of professions because we believe in altruism. We believe that we need to put the patient first, and we do not believe in showing, like, be a show off. Okay? But nowadays, that scenario has changed. So
Right.
I found a really interesting article, and I'm also like writing an article. I'm going to publish something this weekend about that, this reflection that says that in professionalism, one of the core things is that you if you have knowledge about this topic and you feel like 100% sure that you know that part of your job, part of your like that you need to do is to let others know that information. Otherwise, you are not doing any service. You are doing a
Right.
disservice because
Right.
the people who are entering the profession or like tipping their toes into that topic won't know that. So at the end of the day, people will learn from your experience, whether you
Right.
like it or not. So that clicked me because I was like, oh, should I post this? Yes, I should if I feel like 100% confident.
Right.
Like, yes, I know about this and I can feel like I don't want to use the term I'm an authority on this field, but if I feel like I have a voice,
Right.
I need to use it, because at the end of the day, who better than me or other people who are experts on this field than maybe someone who doesn't have like any expertise and
Mm-hmm.
just base their knowledge on Googling and videos. Do you know what I mean?
A
So
thousand percent. A thousand
exactly. So
percent.
that was something that like kind of like clicked me. So Hazar, to
Mhm.
go back to your question, yes, I do everything. So I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I manage my social media, I have a tons of different projects right now. I am a speaker, a national speaker. Um, I juggle all of that with the I don't know how to do it. Maybe it's a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee.
Motivation, coffee, mix.
Motivation and faith that everything will turn out okay at the end of the day. And another thing that I learned is that in social media, for
Mhm.
example, this year, I have a very organic growth on all my channels. It's
Mhm.
slowly, but it's organic. So the people
Right.
that follow me is because they are very interested on my topic, which is oral pathology and empathy. Anyways,
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, this year I'm gonna post every single day, and I'm gonna make reels, and I'm gonna do that and carousels and whatever. I'm gonna start posting like on LinkedIn and all the platforms. By the end of the first month, I was completely burned out. I was this
Mhm.
is like unsustainable
Right.
for just a single person.
Right.
So I have two options. I either hire someone to help me with this, which I have micromanagement issues, so
Right.
I don't feel ready to like to
Take
let
hands up. Yeah.
exactly. So I was like, okay, I don't have to post like every single day. I mean, who is forcing me? No one is
Yeah.
forcing me.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I can post good content 2, 3 times a week.
Mhm.
And what is the worst thing that could happen? That I'm gonna
Right.
lose some followers?
Hmm.
So what? That I'm gonna gain
Actually,
more? Yes. So that's my perspective. So
actually, when you said that this year, I thought that I'm gonna post every single day. The first thing that came into my mind was I that might be Andreina might be following the Alex Hormozy. Is this like this?
so yes, I mean, again, I there are certain people who are like super okay with posting every single day. That's
Right.
not my case. I mean, that does not work for my everyday life where I am a
Right.
By the way,
mom.
do you
I
follow
work.
Alex Hormozy?
Sorry, come again?
Do you follow Alex Hormozy? His
No,
thoughts on no? Okay.
no.
Yeah. He's like a guy. He like you have to post every day. You gotta put your
I
shots up,
mean,
and you know what I
that
mean.
that's the thing, and it is frustrating. I always joke with
Mhm.
my husband. So
Yeah.
I am like, okay, I posted this. Nero, his name is Emiliano. Emiliano, check my post. And he hits likes from his 3 different accounts. And at the end of the day,
Mhm.
I'm like, how many likes I got? One from my husband, another one from my husband, another one from my husband, one from my mom, one from my brother.
Right.
And it's like that. So another thing that I realized is that it's like the mouth to mouth thingy. And
Mhm.
people
Yep.
like to
Yep.
follow trends.
Right.
So maybe I posted like the best thing ever, but until someone who has like a bigger like following
Mhm.
base repost me, that's the only way for me to start gaining like more followers, even
Right.
though we may have the same people that is following us.
Right.
That's until that moment, it's like I'm start like seeing like growth on my social media.
Right.
If you ask me if I would like to live out of social media, of course that's the dream for every single person. If you ask me what my end goal is to like getting sponsors, like that's number one, because
Mhm.
I need to support myself.
Right.
And number two, it's like to get to expand my network, to
Okay.
spread
Right.
my message, to
Right.
make people click between the importance of critical thinking, empathy, and now, as I mentioned before, AI. How AI like can help us if we use that tool in the right way into being better clinicians.
1000%. And I think that's a good like segue, even from everything that you were talking about, even from what we do. So a little bit of background of what we do in the AI space is because we know that we don't come from the perspective that AI is going to take people jobs, or we don't even build AI to take people jobs. We honestly believe like keeping humans in the loop around AI, teaching people how to actually use it and deploy it is the best way to go. That's why we often call ourselves as AI transformation partners. We're not trying to take you out of your business, we're trying to optimize your business with AI. So it's like two things that we often do for our clients that you even spoke about. Was one, with AI we do a lot of like the marketing and the content and stuff like that. So if you're thinking about SEO, if you're thinking about if you do long form clips, I mean long form content, and then we could clip it up into short form content, right? The reels, the TikToks, and all of those condensed versions of content, and then automate that process to where that's coming out every 2, 3, 4 times a week on your behalf. That's like a one idea where AI could come into play, where you could kind of be a lot more hands off, and AI will do the back end
Mhm.
stuff for you. Same in the dental industry, where you were saying, I think you mentioned earlier that you are specific in your niche. One, because a lot of people aren't talking about what you're talking about, but
That is.
also there's not a lot of Latin people talking about what you're talking about as well too. So that's like two main factors
Mhm.
that help you in a sense. And well, even when we're building AI and stuff like that. So I live in New York, and you know how New York is. People talk different languages on every block. So it's like
It's a melting
people you go
pot.
to, yeah, you go to Harlem, they speak in Spanish. You go to Flushing, they speak in Mandarin, Chinese, Flatbush, West Indian. So even with building AI tools, we build AI tools that are multilingual. So if someone like yourself were to call a doctor's office, where the doctor's office don't have that much Spanish speakers, an AI person could actually pick up the phone and then speak Spanish or speak Mandarin and a lot of those things. So that's a lot of what we do with like AI, and how we see it as a benefit in our industry and in our day to day, because we truly believe, even us, like Kazar and myself, we're building our personal brand as well. We're doing the same thing you're doing with building content and doing a lot of that stuff. We're finding it that it's the most important thing right now, because being that there's, and it's not about posting every day. I think what you're saying exactly is building, it is doing that thoughtful content consistently, whether it's a slow growth. As long as you're doing quality content
Exactly.
consistently,
Yes.
then you're fine. But even us, we're building our own personal brand as well, because we know that we live in an era where people wanna, just like for example, I'm pretty sure when you're doing content, whether on TikTok or Instagram, you have people who reach out to you. I'm pretty sure they want you to kind of help them with their needs, but you're not able to. But
Exactly.
you know
Yes.
that's just the opportunity that you have because you built that following. And
Exactly.
even now, like speaking engagement, sponsorships and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff that we do in the AI space, that you mentioned as well, that we do all because we've been implementing AI in our day to day, whether it's our content, whether it's our stuff like that. So everything you said resonates 100%.
But if I may add something into all of the things that you're mentioning, which I am like 100% in line with you,
Right.
one of the other things where when I think about AI, is
Mhm.
how it is like fast streaming a lot of processes in the
Right.
dental
Right.
day to day life.
Right.
But for me, my AI input is that maybe we do have now more time because it's easy for us to explain things to our patients. We are able to chart more faster and to show the cases to our patients like more easily. But does that translate the use that we're doing on AI? Does that translate into having more time, into using that extra time that we now have into like fully explain and connect with our patients.
Right.
So for me, that's like the silver lining.
Right.
So
Right.
if there's something that AI will never ever replace, is that human connection, because they
1000%.
Exactly.
are not the ones who are in front of the patient, who
Right.
are seeing them cry, scared, anxious, who are dealing with that. So
Right.
how we use that tool, how
Right.
we like ingrain that tool into our lives, and at the end of the day, the way we use it is only going to enhance how we are as persons. Because
1000%.
if you want to go fast, you're going to use it and move on with the next patient.
Right. Right.
And if you want to take like really good use of that, you can use that extra time to really, as I just said before, establish a good connection with
Right.
your patient. And that is like priceless for
Right.
me. The way
Right.
that your patient can really feel seen. So that's for me what AI is all about. Like
Right.
understanding it's
Andreina,
not
just
solve all problems, but it's an amazing tool if we know how to use it.
Andreina, just like you mentioned that AI is also helping you a lot, optimizing your workflows, streamlining your operations. But I would love to know the problems that you're still facing while using the AI, or the problems that you would love to solve at your first.
I mean, in terms of like I'm gonna be
Like in
honest.
terms of, yeah, like in terms of content creation, in terms of reaching out to
Exactly.
your
In terms of
prospects, to your
in terms of
patients.
content creation, is that I will I have tried, because I have seen like you can dub your video using AI, or they can create your whole script, and they can an AI maybe can, I don't know, create the whole video out of like a picture of you, and you giving them the script. I have like tried to see how does it look like, but for me it still lacks that, of course, a human factor, but it lacks that touch, to call it that way. So one thing that I honestly hate are trends. When you start seeing like you should use this trend to gain more followers on social media, I don't do that, because at the end of the day, what you are doing is not tailoring your content. You are using like a cookie cutter mold to fit whatever people want to see at that moment. So the way, okay, here comes an amazing example. How I honestly use social media. Maybe it has to do because I am bilingual. Maybe it has to do about my insecurities on the way I express myself in English, because it's easier for me, of course, to express myself in Spanish than it is in English. Anyways, so if I am like, I have this lesion on my man, let's go back to candidiasis, to stay on the same track. Okay, and I want to explain this to dental hygienists. I used a year ago, the way I posted something about that lesion, that pathology, was like a fully explanation. And I felt like that was okay. That was the way that was thought, like the
Right. Right.
definition, the etiology, the risk factors, the clinical characteristics, treatment, and what we call differential diagnosis. Super easy in like a minute and a half. For me, a minute and a half was like, okay. And the content was amazing, but people weren't engaging. So this year, when I decided to fully immerse myself in social media, I was like, okay, what's like the formula, right? So
Right.
first, the hook. And so I have to change like my whole narrative. So that's the way I use social media, like March or Cloud. So can you help me like really use this. Okay, I need like a powerful hook that is gonna get people, hook people in the first
Right.
few seconds and help me like develop this topic. But what I found out, and it's really frustrating for me, is that one of the main things, if you read a lot of the way that social media wants you to deliver your message, is that
Right.
one, it should not last longer than 15 seconds. Like that's
Right.
like nothing. And
Right.
two, the most frustrating thing is that everything should be explained in a language for a fifth grader.
Hmm.
So that's like really, I mean, really, do I have to like, I don't want to say dumb down my message, but do I
Yeah.
really have to do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Is it like worthy
You're right.
to do that? So at the end of the day, I use AI to, okay, I don't want to do this on these terms, but
Right.
help me to get in
Coming
this sort of middle ground.
in. Hmm.
It is fascinating because every day for me is an amazing English course. Like
Right.
I am like, okay, yes, I should use these words, or yes, you should like cut corners here to like
Right.
deliver the message better.
Hmm.
So that's one of the amazing ways that I use AI. It helps me like big time to really know how to tailor my message without losing my voice.
Right.
And I mean, I am not like, okay, yeah, that's the version that I like. I am not like that. I am like, okay, let's use my voice. And I usually tell to my ChatGPT, like, okay, let's make an example. I pretend that I am like sitting next to you,
Right.
having some coffee, chatting, and
Right.
let's use this voice. And I talk a lot. Like, I don't write to my ChatGPT. I use my
Talk to it
voice,
a lot.
talk to it.
Right.
So that's how I use mostly AI on my everyday life. And
Right.
again, if you know how to use it and if you still maintain your critical thinking skills, it's an amazing, amazing tool.
Hmm.
If you only rely on that and you are like, yes, I'm going to let X app to cut my video and X app to dub my voice and X app, where are you at the end of the day?
Right.
Are
Right.
you going to
And I think.
recognize yourself in a year from today?
Right. Right. You might just be a billboard, a mannequin, or something at
Exactly.
that
Yes.
point.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it resonates back to what you were saying, that human connection. Like even what you're doing, right? You're still keeping your connection in with the AI in some way, shape, or form, because you know you have a middle ground. I think even what we're finding when we're talking about AI, whether on a podcast or with one of our clients or just doing a speaking engagement, I think we battle the same things, and we're like, oh, we have to like either dumb it down or something like that because AI is so complicated. But I also understand that, and it's probably the same for you. Like I know nothing about like dental stuff. Like I'm not like that savvy in it. Same with AI. There's people who don't know the bare minimum. Like you are, like out of a lot of people that we spoke to on a podcast already, you are probably the most advanced when it comes to understanding AI, because a lot of people don't even know, half the stuff about it. So I think I also come from it from a of a standpoint where sometimes I do understand we have to like dumb it down to maybe a third grade, fifth grade level, only because the knowledge curve is just so. There's people that don't even think about this or haven't gone to the dentist since they were young and going to the dentist. You know what I mean? Don't even know. Oh, I just go for my cleanings, or I just go for a root canal, or
But
don't
it's
even know the back end of a lot of the stuff for sure.
and it's also the dopamine levels,
Yeah.
so you
Yep.
need like something super punchy that
Yep.
cuts your attention,
Right.
and that's pretty much it. Another thing that I am realizing is that nowadays people are like watching your content, but they are not hitting like.
Yeah,
And
that happens
even
too.
likes are not one of the,
Driving
can I say,
factors
like
anymore.
measuring factors when
Yeah,
you're like
yeah,
seeing how you're trending and how you're doing on social media.
yeah.
So
I think it's the
it's
comments and the
it's
shares,
the
the shares
sharing
and the comments.
rate, it's the
Yeah,
sharing, the save, and the
yeah,
comments.
Yeah,
So
that's the only two I judge too.
so
Yeah.
yes, there's like a whole formula. I have like this whole spreadsheet
Right.
where I'm like, I used to track. I stopped doing that because I was spending a lot of times on
Hmm.
Saturday mornings, like trying to figure out how I was growing,
Right.
and it was kind of frustrating because
Mm.
now I post content because I want to.
Mm.
If it resonates with you, good for
It
you. But
resonates.
now
Right.
I am not measuring my knowledge, my likeness, how my personality is
Right.
out of that.
Right.
Again, some posts may have a lot of likes, some others may not,
Right.
but I may end up getting like a super nice message and making better connections for speaking gigs out of
Right.
that post that maybe no one click than for the other that has like a lot of likes. You know what I mean?
Definitely. A hundred
So
percent.
I'm
A hundred
going
percent.
back to your point about how we do understand social media and how we use it. I
Right.
think that the biggest fear that we all have and what has been like ingrained into our brains is that AI is going to replace us. So that's
Right.
like what why people maybe in some cases is like so reluctant
Right.
even started to using and comprehends how this could be an amazing tool for you. So I mean, again, for me, it's a wonderful tool to
Definitely. And I
explain
get
for my patients and for my peers.
definitely. And I guess this is a great segue because one of our last questions was going to ask. I think I already know your answer right now, but so I'm going to give you a two-part question on the last question instead. So, one of our main last question is, so are you skeptical about AI or are you for AI? And that sounds like you're
I am for AI if you know
for
how to
AI.
use it.
Okay, no.
I mean,
Right.
if you still remain
Mhm.
grounded
Right.
on your critical thinking, if you still understand that that extra time does not mean move on with the next patient, but having
Mm.
time to explain things more thoroughly to your patients,
Right.
if you don't let AI substitute your voice, go for it.
Right.
If you just
Right.
wanna like go for the easy way and do nothing, ooh, you are in big
Mm.
trouble. You are
Right.
in big, big, big trouble.
Right.
Because again, for me, responsibility is human. It will always be human. The message that we give or the way we use AI,
Right.
that responsibility is us.
Us. Right. A
Because
thousand percent.
again, at the end of the day, we are the only ones who are like looking at the patient, explaining treatments, explaining the diagnosis, and we are the only ones who are like standing behind all of that information that we are providing. And patients trust people. They don't trust system. They don't trust
System.
AI. They can
Right.
only trust us because we are the ones in front of them.
Definitely. I love that. I love that. I think that's the note we'll probably end on. Before we wrap this up, can you just give a shout out to like your social medias or any last words you want to give to anybody out there that might be in the dental or AI space or any last comments that you want to just share? The floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, my last message will be like AI can process data, but the empathy, as I just mentioned, is still human. And we need to acknowledge that that part is on us. That's pretty much it. If you want to
That's
know
it.
more about who am I, what I post, or anything related, you can first check my website, which is thepathordh.com. That's ThePathordh.com. And you can follow me on social media. On Instagram, I am the same on every single platform.
Got it.
The Path RDH, same thing. ThePathordh. You can find me like that on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So follow me, check my info. Um, I'm here. If you have any questions, just send me a DM or an email.
Definitely. Thank you so much for your time and wrapping up another episode of the Digital Health Podcast. Hope you guys appreciate this conversation and everything that was so valuable that we got out of this. Until next time, thank you guys so much.